Hello, Stitchers. Welcome to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. I'm your host, Lisa Woolfork. I'm a fourth-generation sewing enthusiast with more than 20 years of sewing experience. I am looking forward to today's conversation, so sit back, relax, and get ready to get your stitch together. Hey, friends. Hey, it's Lisa from Black Women Stitch and the Stitch Please podcast. And as I say every week, this is a very special episode because this episode takes us to the excitement of Raleigh Frocktails. That's right. Raleigh, North Carolina is kicking off a Frocktails in early October, that first Saturday in October. Don't matter where you are right now. Think about that first Saturday in October and think Raleigh Frocktails, because that is what is going down. I am grateful to have three of the Raleigh Frocktails team members with us today. We've got Toni, we've got Shon, and Salina Curtis. And we're going to start with Salina. How did Raleigh Frocktails come about?
So I actually went to the Atlanta Frocktails back in May of this year, and it was hosted by Veronica, and I enjoyed myself so much. I missed out on the first few, and so I moved to North Carolina, and I thought, I need to go back to Atlanta and go to this Frocktails. So on my way back home, the entire time I just kept thinking, I want to do this in Raleigh. We need something up here. I've been trying to find the sewing community in the local area. It's been hard to find people on Instagram and Facebook. And I thought, well, maybe a Frocktails will bring everybody out. So I was thinking, I don't have that big of a following, so it's probably going to be small. So let me go ahead, and I prayed about it, and I said, let me go ahead and make a post that'll force me to go ahead and move forward with this. But I was still thinking small, so I was like, maybe, a few people. And then a few days went by, and I kept thinking and praying about it. It's like, I can't turn back, but maybe we'll see what happens. And on a Monday morning, Toni reached out and Shon reached out, and they both said, hey, we were thinking about doing this. Also, if you need any help, let's all team up and we can make this thing go. And they had their own, I guess, storyline. So I wanted to pass it on to them to talk about what they were thinking and right before they came across my path. So we didn't know each other until this. So this has brought us together. I already feel like I have a community and we're just planning it. So I'm excited about it.
I am so delighted. Salina, thank you so much for starting us off with this, because you know what it makes me feel like, that your Frocktails was like a bat signal.
Yes, that's how it felt like. It was a back signal, and they called, like I did the hoo-dee-hoo, and they just came out and said, we got you, girl. Let's make this happen.
That's better than a bat signal, right? Salina was like, look, you know what? The Lord done said I should go ahead and have a Frocktails. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the Lord that I done posted this thing here on Instagram. The Lord's going to be like, Salina, now, I ain't do all of that. But like the Lord was like, put a post out there. And so she puts it out there and sees what happens. And what happens is Toni and Shon respond. And it's like already just by making the ask,
Yep,
you found what you needed. And that was all it took.
that was all it took. Stepping out on faith, one little step on faith.
Well, yeah, you take the first step and then faith can fill in the rest.
Yep.
Right? Oh,
Yep.
That's so exciting. So you sent up your HOO-DEE-HOO, and here come Toni and Shon, not just saying, we want to come. When is it going to be?
Right.
They said, we want to help. We want to make this great. So Toni or Shon, which of y'all want to tell us about when you saw the HOO-DEE-HOO go up on the Instagram for Raleigh is having a Frocktails? What did you think?
Well, I'll start. So, I go live super late at night on TikTok, and I was talking to them, talking to my little people that stay on live with me. Toni's one of them. And I was like, hey, I really want to put on a Frocktails, but it's kind of late in the game to do it this year. Let me do it here. And I started reaching out to my network. I reached out and just so happened to be like a mom group for Raleigh. And I said, hey, I'm trying to put this on. I explained what the event was. And then I said, I need this person, this person, this person. I want to support all local. And just like within a matter of 1 hour, now this post went up at 3:00 in the morning. Someone responded back at 4 and was like, hey, there's some Frocktails already happening in Raleigh. Here's the Instagram page. And I was like, what? And so I immediately reached out. I mean, I waited a little bit. I reached out, said, oh, you know
She
what?
waited a good 6 hours rather than
Right.
contacting you at 5 a.m. She was like, you know what? 8 a.m. is a respectable hour for everyone to be awake. So
Yep. And
8
that was about
a.m.
the time. Yeah.
So what did you say, Shon?
I said, hi. I was actually talking with a couple of other people, and we were thinking about putting one on for next year. But if you want to do one for this year, I'm an event planner. We can get it started. And I reached out to Toni, and I reached out to Tanisha, and I said, hey, this is her Instagram. Reach out to her. Let her know that you're here to support. We about to do this. And they said, Shon, we only got like 4 or 5 months. And I said, we got this.
I love it. I love how Shon went to her network. Well, the layers of community that are involved in Shon's involvement amplify what Salina had hoped for.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Yes.
Shon was up late at night because I'm sure this is the only time with a little baby that you can get some quiet time when she's down. And, like you're sewing late at night and other folks are with you. And then you reach out to your mom's group because that's one of the primary networks you have right now. And then the mom's group was like, wait a minute, Frocktails, you say? I saw a post from Salina Curtis about this. Why don't you, rather than postponing your event for next year,
Right.
why don't you support? And you were like, I'm a mom and an event planner. And someone's already started and she can lend her skills to that. That's remarkable. And y'all can still do it next year and it's going to be amazing.
Exactly.
But being able to do it now, that's really fantastic. So Shon, that is really great. Now, Toni, how did you get involved? You were on the live with Shon as she was on TikTok Live, brainstorming this idea, fantasizing, wanting to do it. And you were kind of in the audience for that. Tell us how you joined this team.
Okay. So I'm with everybody else. I'm watching the Frocktails go down, getting FOMO. Man, I want the Frocktails here. I ain't got to fly. I don't have to drive very long to get there. And it just, like you said, just so happened, Shon was like, well, they having a Raleigh Frocktail. I said, ooh, I want to help. Because when Chicago announced theirs, I wanted to help with them. But they were like, we're only going to use Chicago-based people. I said, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when Shon said, just reach out to her. And I was so excited. I spelled my own name wrong.
She did. I was so confused.
My name is Toni. I'm a graphic designer. I'm an administrator. I'm a secretary. Just tell me how I can help. Let me know. I'll make the flyers. Whatever you need, I got.
My name is Toni. It's spelled Y-E-S.
Right. I said Tony. This is me. I'm like, and then so when she responds back with Tony, I was like, y'all, I spelled my own name wrong.
You are excited when you spell your own name wrong. I know I get excited when I'm writing. I'm like, Lias. I'm like, Lisa, your name is not Lias. Your name is not Lias, girl. Your name is Lisa. It's been Lisa for 50-some years.
Yes.
Why are you on here? You can tell I'm excited because I'm just throwing up any variety of 4 letters.
Right.
Because I thought it was a different person. Shon told me her friend Toni with an I. So when Toni with the Y sends me a message, I'm like, oh, there's another Toni over
Scammer.
here. Right.
Scammer. So it's like, why am I being scammed? I want a community, not scam.
Like, how many Tonis are there?
Quite a lot. Toni is 2 Tonis just by herself. She's a Toni Toni, and on occasion a Tony. Oh my gosh! So y'all have created this team. Not all members are represented here, but you have a really active and robust team. Now, Salina, you have set up the HOO-DEE-HOO, and now y'all are all together.
Yes.
How do you start? How do you decide what your theme is going to be? How do you decide how to best serve the sewing community through your event? The creative community, not just the sewing community, the creative community, because that was something you were also interested in. You created a great phrase, Toni, that I think is wonderful. Frocktails, FOMO.
Yes.
Frocktails, FOMO. I believe that there is a lot of Frocktails FOMO out in the world because there are more Frocktails than all of us can participate in. But if you are in a small town or if you are in a city that does not yet have one, you think you have to travel to do one. Mm-hmm. So how did Frocktails FOMO motivate you, Toni, to really want to join or participate?
Watching Chicago, I was like, oh, I could have made a cute dress. And it's not even Chicago. I think it was DC's first Frocktails. When I saw that, I said, oh, they get together? Oh, I want to do that too. So when I had the opportunity to do that, yeah, I jumped on that.
Yeah. DC Frocktails is great. I feel so fortunate to like watch all these Frocktails pop up, like to watch them all grow and to be so like, I think DC Frocktails was my first Frocktails, but I've since done New York, Chicago. There's so many, I've not yet been able to do Atlanta, but I'm trying for Raleigh. I really am. So like, I am really trying to do all of them, but I be having FOMO too. Okay, let's just put it out there. I be having FOMO too. Like, oh man, listen, if I don't make Raleigh Frocktails this year for some odd reason, trust that I'm going to be FOMOing. I'm going to be FOMOing and I'm going to be figuring out how to prioritize this for next year. Like, right. Seriously. Now tell us the theme of your Frocktails is and what kind of things you want people to imagine as they step into Raleigh Frocktails.
So our theme is Starry Night. And when I think of Starry Night, I don't know if you guys remember those projectors, and then it projects the galaxy and all the stars. So when you walk in, we want you to feel like, oh, amazed, and then feel all ethereal and sparkly. So when you walk in, all you see is you and it's glimmering. But I want people to feel that when they walk in.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Salina? What does Starry Night speak to you? I totally see that, Toni. You painted a beautiful picture. How about you, Salina?
I feel like Toni's in my brain. When she posts her mood boards, it looks just like mine, but that is exactly what I want. I want something where you just feel elegant or you feel just as glamorous as you want to be, but as casual as you want to be. We were talking about what potential themes I had been thinking about, and the lady said, well, since you did the post, what were you thinking about for the theme? And I said, well, I didn't really want a theme because they can be intimidating. And I want everybody to kind of feel like they can just do whatever their skill set says that they can do or allows them to do. And so I was like, well, they said, well, what are you trying to do for decoration? I said, well, I wanted to have like these kind of lights. And I started showing them a mood board. And I said, I just wanted to have like, like a starry night type of thing where it doesn't matter what you bring to the table. It doesn't matter what you desire. It all just kind of falls within this starry night. So Shon said, well, you just said the theme. So that's how it began. We all have our own image and thoughts, so it can go from the galactic. Tanisha mentioned the cosplay.
Oh, yes.
And said how cosplayers can do their anime type characters. I don't know the names of them, but there are, the moon princesses, the Star Warriors, all of those.
Yes, absolutely. A galaxy far, far away. Yeah.
Exactly.
All sorts of stuff.
Then you can think of an enchanted forest, and then just whatever's out at night. Fairies, you have some princesses are out at night. We don't know why, but they're out there doing some stuff.
They're out, patrolling the world, making sure everybody's safe.
Exactly. Running away from their royal duties and things like that. So just all kinds of characters, anything mystical, magical, and like Toni said, ethereal. So
I love that. I love that. I wanted to think about what I love about the Starry Night theme is it's like a canopy. It's this beautiful canopy and so many things can fit under it. You could have like the bling, you could have the space, you could have the dark enchantment. There's so much you can do with it. Can you talk about your neat mood boards, for example? Why do can you tell us what a mood board is, where you keep it, and how it's good to have one for not just Raleigh Frocktails, but for a Frocktails or creative project in general. So I'm excited because I think this is so cool and people can participate and find these mood boards and learn. So talk about how Raleigh Frocktails is using a mood board as a way to promote the Frocktails.
First, it was to create excitement about what a Starry Night was. I've seen so many different things throughout the sewing community when it came to kind of the big reveal of their outfit for their frocktails. And I'm like, I mean, you could do so much with that. Like, show people that it's all different things and not just one thing. Because a lot of times we only do the one board for ourselves. So I said, I'm going to start doing boards for different people. Like, whatever I feel like it when I wake up in the morning, that's it. So I've done crochet, I've done knit, men's. I'm working on another men's one. Like, I'm getting really great ideas. Just doing them, and then I'm switching up what I'm going to wear. I don't know.
That is amazing. So the mood board becomes a planning site and a promotion site, but also an inspiration site. So you're putting all of those things together. And where do you post your boards? Do you post them all over socials? How can folks see these so that they can be inspired? Hey friends, hey, it's Lisa Woolfork from the award-winning Stitch Please podcast, and I need you to help me get my Stitch together. We're celebrating 5 years of the podcast with Stitch Better Have My Money, a $50,000 capacity building fundraiser. We've had a great 5 years threading the needle of limited resources, but with your support, we can stitch a brighter future. Visit stitchbetterhavemymoney.org to donate today. Donations are tax deductible, and thank you. Hey friends, hey, I know you're enjoying the audio version of Stitch Please, and thanks so much for listening. But you're missing out on all the great stuff going on behind the scenes. That's why I'm inviting you to join our Black Women Stitch Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can see all the video versions of the podcast. Plus, you get some amazing swatch cards. You know how much I love these swatch cards. Look, see how cool these are? Oh wait, you can't see them because you are not yet on the Patreon. So when you join the Patreon, you'll be able to see this, me showing you these amazing cards. We also have some great perks at the other tiers, like discounts, swag, office hours, and more. Don't be the last sewist in the group now. Head over to patreon.com/blackwomenstitch or click the link in the show notes and become a Patreon supporter today. We truly cannot do this without you. So thank you so much.
They are all over our social media. I also have a Pinterest board that is public, so people can, all they have to do is type in Raleigh Frocktails A Starry Night and they will find it. What I like about Pinterest is you can put a few things in the board and then it'll start generating newer.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, so it's like the creativity feeds more creativity. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, Salina, you have kicked off with the HOO-DEE-HOO, and now I'm going to ask you one of the hardest questions ever. Girl, what you wearing? What you wearing?
Well,
what are you making?
So, of course, we do last minute stuff here.
Not you haven't planned the event. Not you haven't set up a whole HOO-DEE-HOO call. You done thrown up the cap and people are running in to plan all this and you still don't have an idea what you have no idea. Well, you have some ideas about what you're making.
Ideas, but Shon keeps coming up with these mood boards and I'm like, ooh, I should do that. So I'm going to challenge myself a little bit because my size, I don't make a lot of pants or jumpsuits.
Okay.
So I've made one a couple of years ago, a jumpsuit.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And I found this, I actually found fabric in my stash. Isn't that something?
What?
This stash behind me is nothing. I have another area. But
stash with fabric in it? You don't say. I don't know what that's about. I've never heard of such a thing. It's a fantasy. Continue.
I know. So I found some fabric. It's got some sparkle. It kind of reminds me of one of the backdrops in some of our posts. It has it's kind of iridescent. It has a purpley, pinkish change of color that's going on, and it sparkles because I want to sparkle.
You do.
I'm a very quiet person in real life, but for Frocktails, you channel your inner Sasha Fierce. So
indeed. Yes, indeed. You definitely do. Yep. You definitely do.
Do that, but I also want to add a little bit more drama to it. So, and I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. So I'm going to get some organza and I'm going to make something to go over my jumpsuit to help me feel comfortable in the jumpsuit, but plus add that drama and
wow.
and add a little bit more sparkle. So we'll see. But it's a cross
Wow.
between like a cloak and then one of the things that Shon, some of her capes that she's posted on her mood boards. I've been thinking about those. Um, yeah. So
Oh, I love that. Because also one thing about October, that the seasons start to change a little bit. It's not as hot
I
as the
know.
summer. And so you can do things that might require a little bit more, like coverage and like,
Mhm.
yeah, I love that. And I'm a sucker for a cape. I'm a
Right.
sucker for a cape. You listen, you put a cape on me, you can't tell me not a thing. What? I made my draws and a cape. Girl, go sit down somewhere. Sit down. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about nothing. Don't. Don't. You can't. Who are you?
She said,
With your
draw that
capeless
again.
ass, with your no cape having self. You better talk to me when you level up and start making your own draws and wearing a cape.
And wearing a cape with it.
And wearing a cape. Yeah. Then we can have a conversation. But until then, we had nothing to discuss.
I love it.
Tell me about the inclusive nature of your Frocktails. You were saying that we know that Frocktails was a tradition that started in New Zealand. It was about folks who wanted to show off their handmade clothing. They would come together. It was like a cocktail party for wearing the dresses you made, and so it was very much. I tend to think about Frocktails, and I just think frocks. I
Yeah.
think dresses, and you make a dress. But so it has grown and blossomed in so many ways since then. Can you tell us about how your Frocktails is going to be not just about the sewing of frocks?
So when we had our first conversation, we talked about, like I said, the different skill sets of everyone, and I mentioned that in Atlanta I saw maybe two or three ladies who either knit or crochet, and then there was one that actually did a crochet and a denim blend. It was great, and
Ooh.
and so everyone was on board with that, and they said, yeah, we should call out to all the crocheters, the knitters. I think Toni or Shon brought up bag makers, jewelry
Yeah.
makers, shoe
Yes.
makers. Yep. And then, of course, Tanisha brought in because Tanisha has told us many times how she's a geek or a nerd. I can't remember which one
Yes.
she
Yes. Or
said.
maybe she's a blurred. Maybe she's a black nerd. Maybe she's a blurred like
Maybe,
me.
yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of us out there. So
That's right.
yeah, and she brought up the cosplay. So we definitely want to do that call to everyone. So I've been trolling social media. I mean, seriously trolling. I said, this is what people do. They just stalk everybody.
Yes, yes, and you're doing it in a good, safe way. I'm certain, because you're doing it to get inspiration, and
Yes.
I just love how through your own searching, you're also like enhancing your own excitement over the
Yes.
event.
I
Like,
know. Yes, we are. It's been great. We have a few sewing groups that we've been in. I've noticed a lot of people who are asking for assistance with sewing, or they're looking for their own community. They're asking about meetups. So
yes.
it's been slow, but I think this is going to be that catalyst that the area needs to bring us all together. I've been really missing that community that I had in Atlanta, and I'm trying to bring that here. And again, like I said, Toni, Shon, and Tanisha already are making me feel that way. So it's yeah, I'm excited.
I just love that so much. So,
Toni, have anything for the inclusive part? I don't want to take
yes.
over the whole thing.
No, no,
I start
no.
to ramble when I get nervous.
No,
So
no,
I
no.
talk a
Don't
lot.
be nervous. I done already messed up. I don't know why you're nervous. Why you nervous? Somebody that invited you to their podcast and they done started all raggedy and they don't know how to turn on the cameras. And listen, this is clearly not something you need to be stressed about. So, Toni, tell us a bit about your excitement about the inclusive nature of the Frocktails, like that it's not just about the sewing of dresses, that there's all sorts of ways that you can extend your creativity for this event.
Yeah, so already I've gotten messages of people saying, "Is this for everybody? I don't sew, or I literally just learned to sew. Can I come?" And I have a coworker. She's like, "That sounds like so much fun. Can you make me something?" I said, "Girl,
No,
it's for everybody." And
it's
like,
for everybody, but not for me to make your outfit. Don't you know I'm on
Right.
the planning committee? I cannot sew your outfit. So no, thank you.
and so yes, it's for. I love how Lynn she comes with her crocheted outfit. What I'm excited about. I'm excited to see the cosplayers. Baby come with fairy wings. I'm excited to see how people interpret Starry Night. sewist and non-sewist. So I'm excited.
And one of the great things about the other fiber arts like knitting or crochet or tatting or something like that is that you can make something for October that is really suitable, because that's that time of year when things are getting a little cooler. So you would really be perfect for a crochet dress or a skirt or all these different elements that you could do. So that's super exciting. I am really excited about this event for so many reasons. One, Salina put out the HOO-DEE-HOO, and here comes the community. And then after this event, when you all are all together and everyone's admiring each other's gorgeous looks, that community is still there in Raleigh. And so do you have any thoughts or ideas about after the Frocktails, how can you keep the community spirit going?
So after the Frocktails, we definitely want to start doing like a fabric swap. We want to do, meetups and stuff like that. Just so much that we see everyone else doing that can like enrich our community here. That would actually benefit everyone, and because you sew by yourself. You stare at the wall, you sew by yourself, or you sew on live, which is by yourself.
By yourself with people watching and talking to you, but you can't hear them. So I can imagine it might sound a little odd when I'm down here sewing on live, because it's like I'm talking to people and no one is talking to me. And so it's just like voices and sewing sounds. Like, that's odd.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited that this is going to be something that could be foundational as well. So tell us a bit about what Raleigh Frocktails, and you're excited about it. People are excited. They're following the mood boards. They're following all of these things. Do you each have one thing that you are looking forward to the most? Imagine it. We're set the scene. It's a starry night. Your venue is gorgeous. You are gorgeous. People have come in their finery. There's fairy wings. There's gossamer. There's organza. There is glitter. There is bling. What are y'all excited about? Imagine yourself. You are there. You are smiling. Everyone is smiling. There's photographs. There's selfies. There's all of these things happening. What are you most excited about for that night?
For me, it's the fangirling. I love seeing the people in real life that I've been following, and I feel kind of like I'm looking at a celebrity. And so I remember in Atlanta, I was like, "You look familiar. Is your name?" And I knew her whole name, and I don't remember why. I just remember because it's on the bottom of the screen, and so I enjoyed that, being able to be everyone's fan. I'm excited about that part.
Yes,
Seeing people in real life.
seeing the celebrities,
Yes, the celebrities.
and yes,
I like that.
absolutely. How about you, Toni? What are you excited about?
I'm looking forward to the runway, to walking down and turning around and showing my pretty, sparkly, shiny outfit.
You're gonna sashay, Shantae.
The sachet Shantae. Exactly. Shon, how about you? What are you looking forward to about that night?
The runway, definitely. Especially if you make clothes for other people, because it's like you never get a chance to show off what you make for
That's
yourself.
true.
And
That's
just
true.
meet everyone. I fangirl over everybody, so they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is her."
And also, you have to admit, too, that people are going to be fangirling over y'all because y'all are throwing this Frocktails. Y'all are the celebrities. Y'all are the Raleigh celebrities. You are hosting this event. You are pulling people together. You are building something for the creative community in Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all are the celebrities.
That's a good point. Okay, yeah.
It is. It's a great point. Thank you. I am good at making points. So yeah. I'm going to ask you all the question that we ask everyone as we wrap up this episode today. The slogan of the Stitch Please podcast is that we will help you get your stitch together. Raleigh Frocktails team. The team members assembled here. This is not the whole team. The whole team couldn't make it, but those who have been here have represented Raleigh Frocktails so well. I think people will listen to this and be like, "Oh yeah, that's just down the road. I'm going." Or you can catch a flight. RDU is the airport that is right there in Raleigh. It'll take you right where you need to go. So now that we have set up this beautiful event, we already imagine it. We know it's going to be a success. How would you encourage folks to get their stitch together I'll rephrase the question because I tend to go on long. The slogan of the Stitch Please podcast is that we will help you get your stitch together. Shon, Salina, and Toni, how would you advise us to get our stitch together for Raleigh Frocktails?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Just one straight stitch at a time. Go slow. If it takes you a whole month to get the outfit right, it's perfect.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Shon. How about you, Toni?
My suggestion is to pick a pattern, your tried and true, and embellish on that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Toni. And Salina, the one who kicked it off with her HOO-DEE-HOO. I'm going to call this from now on the HOO-DEE-HOO Frocktails. Salina, how would you advise us to get our stitch together for Raleigh Frocktails?
So I want to speak to those who are the newer sewists who may have just taken a class last week. Don't use organza or chiffon. Stay away from those. Do yourself a favor and ask someone, reach out to us and ask which fabric would be the easiest for us to work with, and maybe a pattern suggestion. But like Toni said, find something that you can work with and embellish on it. Make this an enjoyable event. Add some challenges, but make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing while you're making it so that you're not frustrated by the time you get to the event. So reach out to us. Always find help. We're trying to build that community. So reach out to the community for assistance. That's how you can get your stitch together.
Thank y'all so much. This was really wonderful. Shon, Toni, Salina, thank you so much for talking with us today on the Stitch Please podcast about Raleigh Frocktails and helping us get our stitch together for the first annual Raleigh Frocktails, the HOO-DEE-HOO of community sewing and community building. Thank y'all so much. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much for having us, Lisa. We appreciate this.
You've been listening to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. We appreciate you joining us this week and every week for stories that center Black women, girls, and femmes in sewing. We invite you to join the Black Women Stitch Patreon community with giving levels beginning at $5 a month. Your contributions help us bring the Stitch Please podcast to you every week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. And come back next week and we'll help you get your stitch together.